Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Employee of security firm Beryllium arrested in targeted operation. Tensions remain high in Hanover following alleged police killing. And later in sports, Catherine Hall to host Reggae Girls Games next month. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson. Here are the details. To a TVJ News follow-up, the police have revealed that an employee of security firm Beryllium was among two people arrested following a targeted operation in Caribbean Estates St. Catherine yesterday. The 32-year-old man is said to be a treasury custodian at the company. His common-law spouse, also 32, and a former Beryllium employee was also arrested. They are alleged to be involved in lottery scamming. A team of officers from the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch (CTOC) and the St. Catherine South Police Division swooped down on the couple's home Tuesday. 4 motor vehicles were seized as well as 6 mobile phones, 2 firearms and cash amounting to over $100 million in U.S. and other currencies. Tensions remain high in Mount Pelier, Hanover, as residents vow to continue their protest until justice is served. This following the alleged murder of a man by the police on Saturday. Shamela Pullen reports.
Minutes after 7 Wednesday morning, residents of Mount Pelier, Hanover took to the streets to protest the fatal shooting of 20-year-old Adijra Kiran Chalibi Vidal, allegedly by police officers. The community blocked the main road with lumber and stones, burning old tires to express their outrage. According to a relative, Vidal was at home when he was allegedly attacked and killed by the lawmen.
The fact that he draw a gun, but are you going to draw a gun? And are you open the grill letting the police? If you didn't have gun, you want to open the grill and let them pop up the grill to come in. You open the grill, you get up, go downstairs, open the grill, letting in them, tell mom if you sit on the couch, and then they push him in her room and all she hear is a shot. 1 shot fire in her head. They drag him, put him in a jeep. 2 of them gone with him, and from them gone with him, we don't hear nothing. Nobody come to talk to us.
The incident has sparked widespread anger and calls for justice.
We cut up, we devastated because somehow in our house, come on, how a police gonna come if ain't gunman that bad? But police was supposed to respect you. Gonna come in your house, come kill you. All of them come in and they find something. Why they never take him a 4 of them? Look how small it is.
And I like them shooting on the veranda.
They come straight in our room.
Open the grill within 2 hands. Why in the hell you push him in the room and go shooting? Not even at the living hall.
When asked, police personnel who were at the scene of the protest would only say that the matter is being investigated and that their presence was slowly to ensure calm.
Citizens are protesting this morning that they need justice, whatever they deem justice to be. Nevertheless, we address the crowd. We have our superintendent Nish, who is also here addressing them. We spoke with them. We informed them that Indicom is investigating. So a loss of life is really, it's not something that we glorify. But when it do happen, we take the necessary steps to ensure that justice is served.
The residents were also cautioned about their approach to seeking justice.
We ask the community to desist from what they are doing because it is also a breach of the National Solid Waste Act. And so persons can be charged. But as not to stir up any problem now, we are aware of who are involved. But we are dealing with it at a different way.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Judges in the parish court are set to receive a salary increase retroactive to April 1, 2023. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark gave an update in Parliament on Tuesday.
The salary of the Chief Parish Judge is to be 70% of that of the President of the Court of Appeal. The salary of the Senior Parish Judge is to be 70% of that of the Senior Puisne Judge. The salary of the parish judge is to be 70% of the puisne judge, and the current arrangements for the positions of masters in chambers and registrar should remain applicable. The indexation formula detailed above is to be maintained going forward and for subsequent years unless there is a material change of circumstances.
As of April 2023, the annual salary for the President of the Court of Appeal was over $26.2 million. For a senior puisne judge, the new salary was a little over $21.9 million, and a puisne judge over $20.8 million for the year. Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson responded to the update.
I just have two questions. One, whether the adjustments are covered in the supplementary budget that we intend to pass, and what would be the additional quantum of monies that would cover these increases.
Dr. Clark pointed out that the decision was approved by Cabinet on Monday, October 14, and the sums were not included in the supplementary estimates.
The annual cost is of these adjustments will be in the order of $1 billion. So it is not insignificant. We have 5 months left in the fiscal year, and so the cost for this fiscal year will be approximately 5/12 of a billion, which is 480 million or thereabouts, 483 million. With respect to the back amounts, that will have to be done at a time that it can be accommodated and afforded. Maybe not in this fiscal year.
Meanwhile, discussions about improved overtime payments for junior doctors are still outstanding. Earlier this year, the junior doctors were restive about the issue. Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson requested an update during Tuesday's Standing Finance Committee of Parliament, which examined changes to the budget.
Supplementary $11 billion is allocated to deal with compensation issues in the public sector. Can you indicate whether the issues related to the junior doctors, and I believe there are some overtime payment issues, whether that is included in the $11 billion?
The matter of the overtime arrangements for the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association members is currently under discussion, shall we say. So, while that remains the case, but let's be clear, the arrangements for junior doctors is that there are sessional rates that apply, and the sessional rates that have been enforced continue to apply until there is a new arrangement.
Finance Minister Dr. Clark added that the public sector would have to better manage overtime payments going forward.
If ministries and agencies don't manage their human resources in a way to keep within budgetary limits, we can have a major problem. We're moving from a dispensation where people got allowances for overtime, regardless of whether they worked overtime or not.
In the meantime, the University of the West Indies and the University of Technology should get an additional $5 billion more in subventions. Market Research Executive Director Don Anderson says there's been a shift in remittance inflows to the island. He made the revelation yesterday as he provided details on the latest business and consumer confidence data. According to Mr. Anderson, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, remittances have consistently fallen below 30%. For the 3 quarters of 2024, it was at 28%.
They're also less cushioned by the remittances that are coming in, and therefore it reflects in the challenges that consumers say they currently have meeting their daily household expenses. So when we go about doing all the kinds of polls we do, one of the big concerns that people express to us is that, boy, things happening, but they're not feeling it. That's a common comment that we're hearing from consumers. And we do several national surveys every year. And that's the same kind of message that is coming back at us.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More local stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Hotelier Robin Russell has been re-elected for a third term as president of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA. The vote took place at the 63rd annual general meeting of the JHTA this week at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Other elected members include Christopher Jarrett, first vice president, Vanna Taylor, second vice president, Karen Lanigan, third vice president, and Kyle Mays, fourth vice president. Russell, general manager of Deja Resorts in Montego Bay, expressed his gratitude to his colleagues for their continued trust. He reaffirmed his commitment to the sustained development of Jamaica's hospitality and tourism industry, adding that the JHTA will continue to collaborate with allied agencies to ensure that Jamaica's tourism industry flourishes for the benefit of all Jamaicans. Further afield, after two recent hurricanes, the U.S. is facing shortages. The Biden administration is invoking the Defense Production Act because the nation's IV fluid supply is critically low. Its biggest producer is in hurricane-ravaged North Carolina. In Florida, officials say they are working with ports to restore the fuel supply, while the Small Business Administration's disaster loan program is out of money. Officials say that's after about 49,000 recent applications. FEMA says it has enough money for now, but false rumors are making it harder to get relief funds to hurricane survivors. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Sandy Williams.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report.
In this evening's health report, we look at andropause.
We really need to find out what is really going on with you. And if you need hormone replacement, then we can look at that. But before we go that route, we really need to have a baseline and find out what is really happening. Because a lot of time, more often than not, it's not even the hormonal imbalance that's causing the andropause, as we call it. It's really other things that men are stressed and anxious and depressed about.
That's the health report in primetime news at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Do regular exercise, get adequate sleep, limit alcohol intake, and avoid smoking.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, educational institutions in 4 Caribbean community CARICOM countries are participating in the pilot phase of the digitalization of technical and vocational education and training TVET delivery project. The Guyana-based CARICOM Secretariat said that the project is designed to transform how Caribbean people access instructional programs or courses that focus on the skills required for a specific job function or trade. It said the project seeks to establish a regional digital platform that supports the digitalization of TVET delivery across CARICOM member states. On the international scene, the U.S. has written to Israel, giving it 30 days to boost humanitarian aid access in Gaza or risk having some U.S. military assistance cut off. The letter sent on Sunday amounts to the strongest known written warning from the U.S. to its ally and comes amid a new Israeli offensive in northern Gaza that has reportedly caused a large number of civilian casualties. It says the U.S. has deep concerns about the deteriorating humanitarian situation, adding that Israel denied or impeded nearly 90% of humanitarian movements between the north and south last month. Israel is reviewing the letter, an Israeli official was reported as saying, adding that the country takes this matter seriously and intends to address the concerns raised with U.S. counterparts. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
Thanks, Shane. We head to another break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.